Hello everybody, bienvenido a todo and welcome to Vabrut with me, Vabrut, and we are in Train Sim 5 as always, and we are back in the West Coast mainline, exploring the new timetable that was created as a mod, which is the link will be in the description. And if you go back to my one or two videos ago, I think it's called New Timetable Mod or something. And it has the link to, like, well, I'll show you on the website like what's there and everything, but I can't do that with every video, so hat tip to it was like created by 8 people. So well, no, the enhancement pack was created by 8 people, but then the timetable was created by 1 person with the help of a few other people for testing, according to the website. It's called Train Sim Community. You can find the enhancement pack on that website and the timetable. They're in different sections, but like one will be under patches and one will be under timetable, so it's pretty easy to find. And a lot of effort's gone into it, so I assume it's going to be quite up to date, like kept up to date. There's no freight in this timetable, but there's so much more else that it's kind of, it's a trade-off. But you're not like you're getting more services overall. So we are going to be taking a class 805, although it is actually, I think it's just the 801 from East Coast mainline, but they've like actually done the interiors and everything, changed the colors. So let's get it on. Now, bear in mind this isn't going to be tilting or anything, because these trains don't tilt. I think the only trains in the UK that tilt are the Voyagers and Heat. Yeah, I want the downlighter on. Oh, why are you being annoying? Ba-da, ba-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-da. So we're a double car set. Oh look, and there's the Eurovision livery on the A350. A350, it's not playing. On the class 350. You see this quite a lot actually on the train. I don't know if it's like on more than one train maybe, or maybe I just get lucky. I keep seeing it. I do keep doing morning trains because I like the morning rush hour. Let me close the doors because I think I'll have to open them again and then before closing them. I'm not using dynamic weather this time, so there won't be any. There shouldn't be any changes. Do I have everything? Oh no, I need to turn on the safety systems. Everything. What's this? I don't think I need to turn on ETCS. Where is that? 1, 2,
3. TPWS and AWS operational.
Okay, yep, that's that then. Okay, and close the doors again. And we are ready to go. Don't know if we'll have any passengers, but let's see. Oh, there's nobody in this one. Maybe they're all in first class at the other end of the train. Ooh, there's someone there. Oh yeah, there is. There's one person. I don't mind that. Ah, you there? There we go. Right, so let's chunk. Bomb. Onwards to Milton Keynes. Say goodbye, London. We shall be going into the Shires. I think Milton Keynes is in Buckinghamshire, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not very good with English counties and shires. Goodbye. 5 car 710. So I think in real life these trains, the 805s are bi-mode. I think the idea is they're supposed to replace the Voyagers, which are diesel, which doesn't make any sense obviously because they mostly run under wires. But I think there are some parts at the end of the route, at the end of various branches of the West Coast Main Line that have anti-serv that don't actually have overhead wires. So that's why the Voyagers were used. But it makes sense to use hybrids so you can take advantage of the wires for most of the distance, and then you just switch off. Basically, what GWR do with their 800s. I think that's the case anyway. Maybe they are ordering just electric trains, but I'd find that odd because for what would they need just electric trains for? Because they've got the Pendolinos and they've still got them all. I think only one has been written off, and that was the one that was in the grey rig crash. But anyway, I mean, for our purposes, we'd only be using it under electric traction anyway. Oh, look at that! 2 A350s! I said it again! 2 Class 350s! Look at me out here being like, oh my god! A350s. I've got Airbus on the mind. I've been thinking about I'm trying to deduce which version of flight sim to get. The €200 version, because it's got everything, or the €180 version, which has a bit less. But I think it's more like €210 and then €180, and there's another one that's like €140, and I'm like, they're very clever how they've done it. Because as soon as you start looking like, oh, I would like that plane. Oh, but that means I need to get the super deluxe. Oh, but then, if I get that, but why don't I just buy the most expensive one and get everything? Like, damn them, clever. Kind of like how DGG are with this game when they do their big yearly updates. Like, well, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. But if you want a Pendolino, then you're going to have West Coast Mainline. I mean, I've never really had much of a problem with their yearly release strategy. The yearly releases that they do, DGG do, are usually the biggest value for money you get. And as you can see from my videos when this released, even though the original timetable isn't as good and as dense as this one, I had plenty of fun with it. And I'll still be going in there for the freight, while this one doesn't have any. So I was happy with it. I wasn't one of the people sort of screaming that we need a new timetable. They just added a few more services for the A3 for the Class 350s in. I'd have been content. Hello, Alexandra Red. But alas, we have a mod that does lots of things, so that's good. I'm not complaining. It's a very nice mod. And of course, well, it was free, basically. I mean, I don't know if any of these people have... There's no link on the page for, like, a donation or anything, but... Well, maybe I should check in case there is. I don't mind paying for things like this. Like, I pay beamng.drive creators. That's like a car crash simulator. I mean, it's a driving simulator, but the unique point about it is because obviously there are lots of driving simulators. The unique point about it is that it simulates the physics of cars, their body structures very well, so you can like full-on crash cars in semi-realistic ways. Oh look, 2 Bakerloo line trains at once. You don't see that very often. I mean, I have to say this accelerates much faster than the Pendolino, so as is the way, I expect that we'll be able to get to Milton Keynes in exactly the same amount of time. Even with the lower top speeds. Because this will be limited to 110 the whole way. Well, it won't be able to go up to 125. 125 is only for trains that have tilting capability on this line, and this does not. But bear in mind that to take advantage of like high speeds, like 50 mile an hour difference, I only going to make a difference over a long period of time and distance. Like, 15 miles an hour says it, doesn't it? Difference between 110 and 125 miles in an hour isn't that big, but over 5 hours, that does actually make a significant difference, and it cuts down the time between London and Glasgow. Um, but between London and Milton Keynes, because this train can accelerate faster than the Pendolino, it can basically do it at the same amount of time. It's the reason why these trains, the 805s they've ordered, don't have any tilt, because they don't need it. And there's debate about if and when the Pendolinos are replaced, whether they'll ever be replaced with tilting trains. Because by that time they'll be HS2. So, and the classic compatible sets that are going to be running. Well, I don't know if they're still doing them actually. No, they must be, because they're still doing the line at Lichfield, like linking up to the West Coast main line at Lichfield. The idea is that they're not going to be tilting trains. They'll just be like, they'll probably almost certainly be these. No, I think they actually already gave the contract to Euston. So it'll be like a. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused. One of the contracts has gone to like a consortium of train builders. But there's like a contract for like trains that will just go on the high speed 2, and then there's the ones that will switch between the two. But I do know that the contract for the ones that switch between the two was that they don't have to tilt, even though they'll be going up and down the West Coast main line. Which seems odd, obviously, because the West Coast main line has that unique functionality to let trains go faster. But the wonderful world of trains means that like a modern multiple unit like this train can do the same, can run the same timetable pretty much with only a few minutes difference at worst as a Pendolino, because it can accelerate faster. And acceleration is a pretty big contributor to reducing speeds. That's why the 801s, it's not the 801s, 800s that run on the Great Western Main Line, it's not that they have a higher top speed, because they're still limited to 125 miles an hour, just like the HSTs, but they can get to 125 miles an hour much faster than the HSTs could, which means they can spend more time at higher speeds. In fact, I remember reading an article. Oh, I wish I could. I've never been able to re-find it again, but it was sort of like the Class 90s only have a top speed of 110 miles an hour, I think. But if you use a Class 90 instead of a Class 91 on the East Coast Main Line, there'll only be a few minutes difference, because the 90s can accelerate much faster than the 91s. 91s can run at 125. Well, they can run at 140 miles an hour, but they accelerate much slower. But the gearing in the Class 90 is much more favourable for acceleration. So on a London Leeds run, they'll only be slightly slower, because they'll be able to get up to the 110 faster than the 91s can get to 125. See, that stuff's interesting. That I like, and that's the reason why you can run this kind of train on a in place of a Pendolino and keep to the timetable. Now, you could build a modern Pendolino, taking advantage of all the modern technology and speed, and then you'd be able to have a Pendolino with this acceleration and the tilting, and that would be faster. But that's like a, I mean, it shouldn't need to be said, but a tilting train is much more expensive than a non-tilting train, because it has a entire train system that other trains don't have, which is actively tilting the train. With that said, though, just to add to that, the oh god, I wish I could remember where I wrote this down, because I had a big rant about this, about HS2, and I believe the West Coast mainline upgrade of the early 2000s, which culminated with the Pendolinos and the tilting trains taking advantage of 125 mile an hour running, and that cost about 500 million, I think. And it was considered like it had gone way over budget, like double the price and all of that. And it was considered like a big sort of splurge of money. But it reduced the London-Glasgow time by more than HS2 will. And HS2 is costing like 10 billion or something. So think about that. Think about that. All the things that were said about upgrading the West Coast Main Line compared to um, building HS2. One might say they were lying. Nah, I don't think that there was a lot of reason method behind the madness of a new high-speed line. But I will dispute till my dying breath that it needed to be a point-to-point. No, it could have just been a new main line. It could have been like a substantial upgrade of the Chiltern line, for example. I mean, it basically is following the route of the Chiltern line and parts of the West Coast. It's so. Oh, I'm just gonna get upset myself, so I'm not gonna keep talking about it. Just say I'll enjoy it when it's there. Like I enjoyed Crossrail when I was in London. I didn't find anything. It just made London feel as big as it is. It didn't make it feel smaller and quicker to get places. It was just like, oh yeah, it's a reminder of how huge London is. And you spend longer getting to the platforms because they're so deep. But it's great to have modern infrastructure because London Underground is bloody awful. Those trains are ridiculously small. It's a joke. And if you're saying, oh, but look, you're late to Watford, it's not because this train can't go faster as Pendolino. It's because I literally slowed down way too early and now I'm just sauntering along. I'm expecting I'll be able to make the time up. Pendolino. Right, yeah. Now I'm going to start braking. Oh, and I must do an East Coast. I might actually do an East Coast mainline run with the Pendolino. Back in the day, when they were first delivered, all the Pendolinos were 9-car, I think, and then they extended them with 2 extra cars. Or no, wait, some were 9 and some were 10, and then they extended the 10 cars to 11, and then ordered a couple of new 11-car trains. And before they were handed over to Virgin at the time, I have this vague recollection that they used why is it not stopping? Stop. That's so offensive to me. You had plenty of time to stop. Pendolinos have better brakes. How'd you like that, Hitachi? Oh no, I don't like these up here, these screens. No, they should be on the doors. Oh, but these doors disappear into the body. Well, they should be down next to the doors then. Oh, well. What do I know? Ooh, that's a 3777 or 3779. 2777. Oh, look, you can tell by the windows. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Trains galore. And is it 5 carriages? It is. Anyway, closed doors. Well, let's go to Milton Keynes. Well, I can't remember if this has a sound mod. I think I downloaded a sound mod for this because I downloaded all of the ones that were recommended in the enhancement pack. Because is, if you don't know, if you've never used the Train Sim community website before, you can upload your own. You can upload a mod. I'm not saying anybody can, because you obviously need some skills to do the mod, but people who upload a mod on the page, it will have the download for the mod, but they'll also have like, here's the dependencies that you need to have, and then here's some recommended things that you should have to make the best of it. The dependencies are usually like, you need to have this route and these trains and blah 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 in order, or these routes in order to be able to take for the services to appear, or the rolling stock to be there. And then the recommendations are usually sounds, or sort of like little that you can get, like enhancement packs that change the color or texture of the ballast. There are some enhancement packs for just the foliage generally across routes, to backport newer, better, more optimized foliage into older routes. So you get recommendations for things like that. It's very common. Why was I talking about this? God, you can tell I'm old. I'm really pale in that thing. Let me see. There we go. I'm just a bit overexposed. There we go. What was I trying to get at here? Does it matter? Just checking it's not going to rain. In real life. It feels really late because the clocks have gone back. So now it's going to be dark when it's 7 o'clock. I'll take you there. Onwards we go. See, rush hour in this timetable is really good because you just see lots of trains coming into London, and that's nice. Is that the M25? Sure looks like it. Oh yeah, that looks like the M25. Oh, I was talking about the sound. Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't driven an 801 in a while, so I can't remember what it sounds like. In fact, the last time I drove it, I think... No, I spawned one in free roam for some reason. Oh god, every time I look at the screen that's recording this screen, it looks like the distance is counting down really fast because it's sort of squashed and it's pixelated, so it looks like it's moving when it's not. So I was just looking, thinking, oh my god, where's the next stop? Where the hell am I stopping? I'm stopping nowhere until Milton Keynes. 25 miles away. We should be sauntering along at 110. So I should push forward a little bit to get up to 110. See, trains galore. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. So I'm going to be interested to see what the HS2 trains end up looking like. Because I'm fairly out of the loop, but if I recall correctly, the ones that are just for HS2 are going to be built, are going to be like there'll be bigger trains because they'll be able to fit on the loading gauge, on a wider loading gauge than the normal UK network. Then the classic compatible ones have to fit within the profile of the UK ordinary railway network. And depending who's making them, they'll probably be using like a platform that already exists and just modifying it. So like Hitachi would use the A-Train platform, which is what this is. If it's Hitachi, but for something tell me it was Alstom. Who do the Pendolinos and the GGV in front. Something's telling me it's them who won. But then again, I don't know if they were the one. If what they're talking about is the dedicated HS2 trains or the ones that run on both. Because I don't know if the plan is just use the Pendolinos to run on HS2 instead. Because bear in mind that they can that the Pendolinos can go up to 135, which would be 220 kilometers an hour, which is sort of basically, it's kind of low high speed. Oh, are we catching up with someone? Yeah, we are. Get in. I do love overtaking a train. Just gorgeous. Oh, don't say it's going to happen in a tunnel. Oh, I want to overtake you outside of a tunnel so I can see it. Oh, we are. Bye. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Mind you, I think HS2 is still years away, isn't it? Every now and again I think like, oh, it's a couple of years away, but it's not. It's really not. I don't think they've even done anything even built anything for any of the stations. Well, the two stations. I don't know what's happening with Euston. But last time I looked, Old Oak Common was still just a hole in the ground, and what's that other one? The one in Birmingham, Curzon Street. They built the viaduct that leads into it, but the station's still nothingy. So obviously it needs stations for it to be able to stop anywhere. And yeah, well, they haven't laid any track. They built some tunnels and laid out some of the route and some viaducts. But it's a long, long road. What year is it now? It's 2024. No, it's not going to be 2026. I don't think that's too soon. It's be like 2077, 2028 maybe? And then when I guarantee as soon as they built it, they'll be like, oh, why didn't we build it to Manchester? Now there's too much route traffic on the West Coast Main Line north of Birmingham. Like, yeah. Why didn't you just make it a main line? Or upgrade the West Coast Main Line and build the HS1 or West Coast Main Line bypass as it really basically is. And while you're at it, link it up with HS1 and then have a ball. I mean, if you actually, you could, theoretically, trains would be able to pass over from Oh wait, no, they wouldn't. Not unless. Theoretically, a train could go down the West Coast Main Line, then go via the North London line, and then switch on to HS2 at the London Gateway. But problem would be from HS2 to West Coast Main Line isn't really doable. Well, unless you can do it at Old Oak Common and go via Wilson Junction, maybe. But I doubt. I think HS2 is going to be like buried deep underground at that point. So it'll be like coming up into a shallow pit and then going back down into tunnels to Euston. So I don't think there'll be a direct link to get it anywhere else. So yeah, that's not going to happen unless somebody plans ahead for like a switch, tunnel switch to send off the trains to East London, which isn't going to happen because I think they said back in the day when it was first proposed, it was like, oh, yeah, you're going to be able to go from Birmingham and Manchester direct to Paris and Frankfurt. Oh, the things they say to get these infrastructure projects off the ground. And now it's costing like twice as much as it was originally supposed to cost, and we're not getting any of that. Doesn't go to Heathrow, doesn't go link up with HS1, doesn't go to Manchester, doesn't go to Leeds, doesn't go to Sheffield, doesn't go to Derby, doesn't go goes to Birmingham and West London. Okay, fine. Looking forward to it being in this game though. No, I mean those dedicated high-speed lines, like the French one. What is it? What's it called? Mediterranean or something. It's not bad. I do quite like being able to go really fast in trains. And you can't go. I mean, the TGV is the fastest train in the game. And when you take it on high speed one in Southeastern High Speed as well, it's fun, real fun. But dedicated high speed lines can be a little bit. They need something. So like it's more fun for me to drive the TGV on Southeastern High Speed because there's other trains and things happening around. Whereas if you do it in the French route itself, there's no other trains. It's just the TGV. There's no other. Even though you arrive in Marseille, which has the conventional railway and the TGV all in one station, there's no other trains because there's no other French routes to layer stuff in. And there's no other compatible services to run on that line other than the TGV. Oh well, actually, you could run the Class 395 from Southeastern High Speed on there as well. It has the is it KVB, the signalling system that the French use. Oh. Can't believe no French developers have like stepped up yet and made a nice French route. I guess it'd be hard. Well, no, you could do it in a way. You might have to start with high speed, or well, no, or you could start with like regional or commuter that works into a big station, and then you could layer in the TGV from that's already in the game as a long distance services. Like how the that upcoming Alan Thompson route will be the commuter train will be a 323 commuter train, but it will layer in the Pendolinos and the East Midlands trains 158 as well. But of course I can say all of these things because I don't build routes or anything like that. So it's like easy for me to say, oh yeah, oh god, it's the Pride one, get in! Get in! Gorgeous livery. I like colours. Okay. Speed up again. My dog all cuddled up on the sofa. Confused, I think. One, because there was an hour line this morning. She was like, "Where's my food? What the hell? Why aren't we going for a walk yet?" And then the rest of her day has been thrown off by it. Because she's like, "I'm hungry now, though." I can tell she's looking at me like, "But I'm hungry now." I'm like, "Yeah, but everything's an hour later now." Obviously, if you don't understand time, she's like, "But it's already been 24 hours since I was fed for dinner yesterday. So, and it's been 12 hours since I was fed. Well, no, it's actually only been 11 hours. It'll be 12 hours when in an hour when she does get fed." But no, this is a nice game for winter. I always find that I play Tracing World much more in winter. And then City Skyline 2 wasn't such a mess. I'd be heavily on that, but it's just a disaster for the most part. And then I'd be playing and then I'll be playing Flight Simulator 2 when that comes out. And what else? Cozy Dragon Age when that comes out in almost right now. It's the 27th as I write this, and I think it's coming out on the 31st. I worked on that, so so I'm looking forward to that, and I feel like I've got like 50 games on my Steam wish list, and I'm sure some of them must be like due to come out soon. Right, that's Bletchley. We'll be at Milton Keynes in no time at all. We are going to be a little bit late, in part down to me being absolutely terrible at Watford, arriving to Watford stupidly late because I started braking 4 miles out for some reason. I think it's because when I did this the other video in the Pendolino, it was snowing, and so I was like, "Oh, I need to start slowing down now." And I still overrun the platform in this session at the last station because oh. Okay, right. Well, we are getting brought down to speed now because we've got a double yellow. Yeah. Okay. That's why I hope that the Just Trains West Coast Mainline comes out around maybe end of November, and then perfect one for indulging over Christmas. Nice snowy scenes going over the Shat Peak. Because I think I've still got 5 days of holiday saved from work that I'm just going to bump up for Christmas. So I'm going to have like a nice 2 weeks solid break. It's usually a quiet time of year. Oh, and then next year, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out as well. But I think autumn 2025 they've said. Or maybe I've made that up in my head. But they said that like a year ago. It wouldn't surprise me if it gets delayed, because video games get delayed a lot these days. Because players don't accept like, oh, we'll release it now and then patch it to fix it all later. Well, for Train Sim World we do. Because there's no alternative. That's just how it is. for big AA releases that have like hundreds of millions of players, it's harder to pull that off. If it's a disaster, it can like ruin your reputation. Whereas DGG are kind of I think their thinking is we don't have a reputation to begin with, so. But also because it is hard. Like the Unreal Engine is not. It's very good for being able to provide huge maps and huge areas. It's not. That's a. I mean, you find a lot of game teams nowadays move over to Unreal Engine because you can massively expand what you can do. But it does have lots of tech impediments that make performance an issue. Go look at Digital Foundry on who put their reviews. They're part of Eurogamer, and they often do deep dives into new games as they come out, and they're always going on about Unreal Engine and its stutters.
24 hours.
But I don't think DGG could realistically build their own. Because I think the engine that's used for Train Sim Classic is their own, and that's like, I mean, I sometimes see people on forums going on, oh my god, you can really make things look great, and in still images you can make a screenshot based on the textures and all the things you put in look quite good, but when you actually see the game in as a video or people streaming it, you're like, yeah, a screenshot doesn't capture how bad this looks. So. Oh, okay, great. Return to free roam. I'm going to get a picture now. Oh, I need to put the weather back in. Ooh. Put the weather back in and dun dun dun. See, this is how I make my thumbnails for the for the videos on YouTube. See a bit of a bit behind the scenes action. I mean, well, you've seen me take pictures before. There's nothing particularly amazing about that. There we go. Always want to leave more space at the top for writing, or the bottom as well. Do at the bottom as well. We could do like an artistic shot. Ooh. Let's play with the depth of field here. Focal point. Yeah, I want that. I want depth of field to be low. Ooh. Show grid. Am I in the middle? Yeah, there. Can I do anything about this weather? No, I do want that. Oh, that's softer. I like that. But then I need to exposure it up a bit, I think. Ooh, that does look nice, doesn't it? Quite arty. But maybe I need even more arty. No, too arty and it just looks silly. If you wonder what this is, it's like a little thing to stop people walking onto the railway. Walking down off the end of the platform onto on the railway. And if you think, oh well, how do they stop people? People can just step over them. It's like you kind of can, but like as someone who was once taking a picture on one of these things, well, I was taking a picture on a platform, and if you can imagine, see here, I would be walking backwards to try and get a better field of view of the approaching train, and I trod on it and nearly broke my ankle. If you tread on like the top of the triangle, your ankle immediately like your foot immediately like switches down, and it's like ah. Actually, let's get them a little bit more in focus. No, let's just go with that and we'll see. Right, done. I guess I need to get out and see if this train goes anywhere. Oh, it is nice. It is nice, and I do like this, like Milton Keynes as a start and end point. Oh, there it goes. Does he even have a driver? I don't know. Goodbye. Avanti. Right, well, I'll leave it there.
Lists are available to all platforms. In the
And I'll say
interest of
thank
safety,
you for
the next
watching,
line
everybody.
is
Well, everybody,
please do not use the
however
left-hand
many
side
people do.
doors of the
Um,
stairs, as
and
contraptions can lead to accidents.
I'll see you in the next video. I mean, I should probably try and mix it up a bit now because I've done a lot of Laura West Coast mainline videos in a row, and I did try and record a something different on Frankfurt Fall today, but it was a mess, and it was like the longest video I've ever made, and it was just me constantly setting off PZB. So I'll try and do. I think I'm going to try and do an Avanti, well, a 390. I'll see what livery I decided on in the end, on the East Coast mainline. Because I think I was trying to explain earlier, but I may have forgotten that they did run them on the East Coast Main Line briefly when the 11-car trains first arrived. So I'll try and do that, but I can't remember what livery they were in. I think they were in the Virgin livery, you know, the silver one, but they might also have been in this. No, they must have still been in the silver livery. They must have been, because I remember when they were all still in that original Virgin livery. In any case, keep an eye out for my next video. You can also make requests if you wanted me to do anything. Yeah, but have a nice week, weekend, evening, day, whatever. Bye. Hasta luego.